Hello, everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I'm your host, Rrr Mmmm, and of course, we have with us Lorena Creole today. How are you, Lorena?
I am doing great, doing great. So glad to be here with you to watch these last two episodes of this amazing, amazing series. I'm so excited, so excited.
It has been amazing and certainly different than what I thought it would be, and actually
Mhm.
very satisfying to see Hemsworth this way. This man is a machine. As far as I'm concerned, I've been enjoying it, and Lorena and I are watching this on Group Watch on Disney Plus, episodes 5 and 6 of Limitless, which has been something we've been enjoying. Episodes 1 through 4 has really been quite eye opening, and um,
Mhm.
I've been enjoying it. What about you, Lorena?
I've really, really, really been enjoying it, especially seeing, the things that he does, even, things that he fails at in the beginning. It's just all kind of like a learning process to see, and especially seeing like the takeaways that, that he has from every episode. And it's almost like there's takeaways that you as a viewer can kind of think about, doing yourself. So very informative, entertaining series. And as always, National Geographic is top notch when it comes to nature and outdoor and motion photography. So has that National Geographic stamp. So if you used to pour over the National Geographic magazines like I did, as a kid, just because the shots just were absolutely amazing, you'll love it here. Even if I don't understand if you couldn't, not in it for Chris Hemsworth, you will definitely love the photography.
Absolutely. The visuals are absolutely stunning. And we are going to
Mhm.
sort of a lot of extremes and exotic places in the world. In the series, Lorena, you had pointed out earlier how they actually use examples from people from different places all over the world, in addition to some of the top, doctors, physiologists,
Mhm.
military specialists, record breakers, world record breakers, and we're seeing the most incredible people. It really is wonderful to kind of see that interest in excelling and interest in wellness, even that I haven't seen for a while. So it's really great, and I think it's the one of the best things to start off the new year, as we're going to be airing this in 2023. Can you believe it,
Yes.
Lorena?
I can't. It's like it feels like it was January, like it's still January 2022 in a way, you know?
Yes,
Something else.
this year really has gone by fast, and
Mhm.
we're hoping that you all who are watching this will be benefiting from it. Certainly, we're going to be starting episode 5. The episodes are only, I guess, what is it, 40 minutes long or so.
Mhm. Yeah.
um, and I'll be saying where we are in the episode, but do watch along at home with this. There's so much fantastic information that you learn from this series
Mhm.
in regards to wellness, and it can make you feel limitless. So let me go ahead and start. I press the start button. It says start stream. Okay. And episode 5 is memory, Lorena, memory.
Mm.
Are you seeing the program?
Let's see. For some reason, it's not letting me join.
Okay, let me go
Hang
back.
on. Let me try again. It could be me.
Hmm.
Okay. Why won't it let me join?
Let me just see something here. I see Darth on there. I do see it.
Okay. And
Um,
then how come I can't see? Okay. Tell you what. Let me try the link again. Let me try the link again.
okay.
Okay. There we go. Join stream. There I go. Okay. We're good.
Okay, good. So we were at just 1 minute of the stream. 1 minute in.
Oh, I love that photography.
It's beautiful. Mhm. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Mhm. Wow. Hmm.
And how old is he again, Lorena? Is he in his 30s?
Yeah, he's in his I think he's like in his mid-30s.
Okay.
Wow. Because he's so young, that's not really something cognitive decline isn't something that you're thinking about when, when you're in your mid-30s.
No, it certainly isn't, and to get news like this, I mean, while it's great that you get it, it's still very surprising to hear. And, he's been honest and sharing this information about the fact that he has this gene that does make him, according
Mhm.
to doctors, more susceptible to being at risk of developing Alzheimer's. I just don't believe it. I mean, he looks perfect to me. I don't know.
The one thing with these cognitive diseases is that it can be a slow onset until the symptoms are just, um, too much, too big to ignore, or you can have someone who is extremely intelligent and it further masks how that's setting in. The human brain is fascinating, but cognitive diseases, that's just something that, it's wild. It's just like it'll just, like, either all of a sudden happen later in life, just one day they're fine, the next day something's wrong, or for some reason so for some people it's very, very slow. It's like little things that you'll notice. Like, I had, like, my godfather. With him, it was kind of just like he doesn't usually switch topics this quickly. I'm thinking maybe he's distracted, or he keeps losing his keys. Maybe he's just having a bad day. You're not thinking it's an early onset of Alzheimer's.
Yeah, that is very true.
Mhm. Interesting that they say unplug from technology.
There must be some benefit removing yourself from it. Is he I was gonna say, is he they're gonna give him a map maybe?
Probably just a map and a compass, like your old school orienteering, like something that I had to do in Girl Scouts. And I remember being with a group of girls helping with like an activity at the Y, and they're just like, we can't use a compass in our phone. It's like, you don't use the one on your phone. Use this one. We're just like, how does all right. I want to show you how it
Place of the needle points north, and that's north.
yes, you use the map and I know where you are. And it's interesting how many how much cognitive activity where technology is, is amazing. Things like this, are amazing. It takes away from things that our brain, has tried to learn. How many phone numbers do you no longer memorize anymore
Yeah.
because they're in your phone?
Yeah. That is very true.
That's gonna be very interesting. It's like I tell people, it's, like with directions, you're so used to getting them in Google Maps and your GPS, but what if, your phone dies and now you have to remember where that stuff is?
Mhm. Oh, wow. So is this the Outback? It says
Yeah.
Aboriginal Strait Islander people are advised that this program may contain I'm sorry. Voices of deceased person.
Oh, okay. I guess, and I'm just guessing. I guess for Aboriginal population to see images or hear voices of someone who's passed on is probably very, very disconcerting.
Okay.
I guess for some, it is.
Wow, I just love how we're learning so much about other cultures too from this program. It's remarkable what they've done here.
Mhm. One of the things that I learned about reading National Geographic is that there's some places that feel that if you take a picture, that's like stealing, it's like stealing their soul away. So amazing what you learn, like you're saying, what you learn about, about other cultures. Which is another reason why I love that magazine so much.
Mhm. Almost every, magazine, Lorraine, they'd have a map in it, right? Remember?
Yes. Which is why I don't really understand the stereotype of Americans not being able to read maps. It seems like as long as I was growing up, I was always looking at maps to try to find out where these places were, in the world.
What a beautiful thing to say. If we sit and listen, we can hear our ancestors talking to us.
Hmm. Mm. Permission.
Yeah, think about how much we aren't seeing and hearing because of distractions. This is gonna be certainly a wonderful experience for Hemsworth in this, I think.
Hmm. Absolutely. It's amazing what you miss because you're so preoccupied with technology. And I've noticed with this with like the younger kids and like the millennials and the Gen Zs. I even noticed this at theme parks. It used to be you had one person who unfortunately had the job of recording stuff and they didn't really like doing it. Now you're at a show and everybody has, like their phones out. And it's kind of like you're missing being immersed in that experience and, and noticing the sounds and the smells and all of that for sake of capturing this particular moment. Like, I want to trap into technology.
You're absolutely right, and the other thing that reminds me of is kind of like bivouacking in the military, how they do use technology, but they do have to learn how to use a map, and they have to the one thing that my best friend always says, he's like, "Are you listening and are you watching what's going on around you?" And of course, the
Hmm.
answer is no, I'm not. I'm not really listening or watching what's going on, but this makes me think if it's gonna be part of brain and cognitive, agility, maybe
Hmm.
I have to do it.
You really do. Yep. Give 'em up.
Yes.
Give 'em up. Remember, you got to get a watch too. That's the other one. Hmm.
What? 3 phones?
I understand. I have two. I have two phones. Some people have their work phone and their
Mhm,
personal phone. That's kind of like how
mhm,
it is. It's like I have my real life phone, work phone, and then I have my fun phone with the number that hardly anybody has. And I have that one. But yeah, some people they will. It's weird, but no, because some people who have their regular line and they have their business line, they kind of want to keep those separate. But yeah, it is hard separating from that phone.
It's true, and I almost feel like it's unsafe. I don't know why I've associated the phone with safety. Do you feel that way about your phone?
In a way, I do. There's like a layer of safety that I didn't have before. And I think I want to say kind of like with instantaneous communication, like being able to locate you. Like I remember being as a kid, they're like, if you get lost, don't stay in one spot. And it's like nobody can find me. But it's like if somebody has your phone, they can geolocate and and kind of find you. So it's like an additional layer of safety, I think, but something we wind up taking for granted too, because you forget for me, it's like, what's the backup plan? You need to know numbers. You need to know, kind of like a kind of what to do. Kids need to know the places that they can go where they know they can be safe if if they don't have their phone, if they don't lose their phone. So that's a very excellent question. Brain is so interesting, and I'm not saying that just because I saw one in an autopsy before biology class in the coroner's office. That was a trippy experience.
Oh, wow. Well, that is so important. Navigation
Hmm.
stimulates the hippocampus, and they believe that this having a stronger hippocampus
Hmm.
will help us against may help us against cognitive loss. Now
Absolutely.
that's good news.
That's why with a lot of because like with the iPad technology, it's the most popular with the very young and the older population, especially when they're playing cognitive games and things to remember, um, certain tasks to do. It seems like it helps them to keep those pathways connected. And like with the younger kids, it's like when it's kind of like helps them to learn a bit more with developing those pathways. It's very interesting.
Yes.
I didn't like that movie. Never ending story. Can't like everything. That was not one of my favorites.
Mhm. I bet you he didn't get a Otis didn't get a lot of chance to watch TV if he was hanging out here.
Yeah, they were out, out doing stuff.
Mhm. Well, you remember what it was like growing up. You were outside. People didn't kids were not indoors.
No, stay outside until, the lights come on. If you're the only reason you should be in the house or is if it's time for lunch or if something happened. But yeah, we used to be outside, you know, all of the time and just doing things and uh and finding things. That's why I love summer camps. I tell people send your kids to summer camp.
Mhm. So he grew up in a rural oh, wow. Look at his family. He grew up in a rural place. Looks just like his dad.
Wow. Yeah, I noticed that.
So he did grow up in the outback.
Mhm. Yeah. I hope it wasn't fire ants because, whew. What a wonderful, I mean, traumatic, but wonderful memory.
Yeah. It is kind of beautiful where they're kind of hiking, I guess you would call it.
Mhm. Drinking
Straight
the water.
straight from the stream.
You don't know where that water came from.
My first thought is Giardia, but maybe not.
Yeah, life straw. Yeah.
Yes, but it's
I
they're not supposed to be using anything, right? They're just supposed to be using.
Mhm. I could see if it's probably like the people who live there were like, "Yeah, it's okay to drink from that one."
Mhm.
Alright, but still, I'm such a germaphobe. I'd be like, "Can we boil that first, please?" Beautiful.
I even get a sense that the cameras are a bit of a distance away from them so as not to disturb them.
That's a good point. Because if you know where the cameras are, it may make you, not behave, I'll say sounds bad saying normally, but not behave, normally. You behave differently if you don't think a camera is, like, focused on you. I agree. That's why I love when I go to the beach and all you hear is just there's a reason why that, like, ambient white noise will put you to sleep.
Yes.
I get it. That's why sometimes if I'm out walking, I usually try to get away from my desk because if I bring my phone with me, or if I do bring my phone with me, I have to turn off my notifications because if I see work notifications, going on. It just like drives up my stress level.
It's true. And we're at 21 minutes and 50 seconds of the first of episode 5.
That is so beautiful.
It is. It really is.
I can see why he's such a good artist. You see, like all of that nature you get to observe. Oh, wow. Look at that. Hmm. Wow.
Wow. They look like they're having fun.
I believe it.
And that's a huge concern over the last few years, Lorena, of how isolated we all have.
Hmm. Which is why it's so devastating for mental health that people were so isolated. That time lapse photography with the water is so gorgeous. Don't jump. Ah, shoot.
No! But are their bags waterproof?
Probably. That like a waterproof, water resistant material.
But that water looks cold.
It does. That's crazy. That cannot be me. Although I'm really glad to see y'all half naked. That's all right.
Yes. I am enjoying the male physique in this series.
Absolutely.
Wow, look at Otis. They're both very well and fit. Hmm.
Mhm.
Oh.
So did one of my grandfathers. I didn't He died when I was young, but I know that was my mother's concern because her father had Alzheimer's. She was like, "I'm worried about, I'm gonna forget things." I'm like, "You remember things I did 20 years ago. I really think you're okay." But she had that concern about it.
Mhm.
Mhm. Looking at him, it seems like he's worried he'll lose those memories.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Lorena.
I think it's because I just grew up hearing it from, like, my mom and my aunt, because they were sisters. That was something they were seriously concerned about, was, onset of Alzheimer's, and we used to joke with both of them. It's like, "What? You remember everything. I mean, if I say I can't find X, Y, and Z, you told me exactly where it's located in the kitchen." It was kind of like we understood their concern, but it was kind of like the outside looking in. We're just like, we don't see anything like that going on, but it was a constant source of concern for them. Mm,
Yeah, this is a huge problem for a lot of people. I'd say sometimes this happens to me with the restless sleeping. At least that's what I call it.
mhm. Because I know for me, it's just like it's hard for me, like, to fall asleep because I'm a night person. I used to drive my parents crazy. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. I don't know how realistic some of that is.
Yeah, there are some limitations to being able to adhere to
Mhm.
strict, going to sleep and rising at specific
Mhm.
hours. It is really something that not everybody has the fortunate experience of having.
Yeah, especially if you're a parent. Guess what? Not your schedule.
Yeah. And we learned about the diet
Mhm.
choices, periodic fasting and eating certain
Mhm.
types of foods and its effect over his overall health and stress, which were some of the earlier programs of the series.
Mhm.
And then this temperature thing, you and I were talking about it. They're talking about bathing in colder water or using a sauna as also something that's supposed to help fight that as well. So they gave us a lot of information so far, Lorena.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The corroboree.
Oh, okay. Is it
I
um
don't know.
like a powwow or something?
Yeah, maybe.
So it kind of sounds like.
Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
What? The first one in 100 years, over 100 years. So we're
100
at
years.
33 minutes and just at
Mhm.
30 seconds. So 33 minutes and 30 seconds of this incredible episode on memory in the Limitless series with Chris
Mhm.
Hemsworth.
Hmm.
Really?
And I can kind of see that. Your brain has to gauge, has to keep everything, in place. Is the ground sturdy for you to stand on? Is it not? And it's not like a flat path. Your brain is constantly calculating what you're doing, where you're going, what things feel like. It's a complete difference. I tell people between, like, say, walking around my neighborhood and walking in the mall, as opposed to, like, say, going to a state park and you're on a hiking trail in a state park. Completely different.
Well, this is some very interesting comments by this doctor about the fact that this exercise can help fight, they believe can help fight against dementia. And then you combine that with cognitive challenges, and it also helps fighting that. That's
Hmm.
really actually very good news to hear that there's something you can do to
Hmm.
fight it.
Very. Because there is a brain body connection when you dance.
Oh,
And I've seen this firsthand.
wow. Oh, I understand now.
Hmm.
So doing those ballet steps that we both, I'm sure you took it, that we both learned every day
Hmm.
could also help us in cognitive ability as well.
Exactly, especially with having to learn different dances and different steps and like the music and
Mhm.
movement and all of that. When I was teaching Zumba, I had like a lot of um I call them the silver mafia because it's true. Don't let me miss a class. They are not happy if I miss a class. But so many of them, and they would talk about how proud they were to remember things and how it would make them, how it make them feel. And yeah, it's very different from lifting weights. It's kind of like a very rote activity, but with dancing, there's so many things that are going on that your brain has to adjust for that it's really helpful. And dance classes are very this is why dance classes are so popular with the older population.
Now I'm wondering, my next thought is the dancing and also some of the martial arts things that we see, like Tai Chi, which feel like a dance.
Yes, same concept. You've got like this brain body connection, and just with what I've seen with Tai Chi, with learning the certain movements that you have to go through, and you're not in one position the entire time. There's subtle changes that you have to do. Yeah. I used to be fascinated watching these like old Chinese ladies in Vancouver and was it Victoria Garden? I forget which one it was, but they were having like Tai Chi classes. I'd even seen it happen in the mall sometimes. That would always fascinate me
Mhm, mhm.
watching them do this. So pretty. Stars? Well, that too. Granted, cartography has only been around for like what? I'm trying to think. It's like there's there's the maps we have access to, and then 100 years ago, where only certain people had access to maps, unless you were like sailors or nobility or monarchy or something like that. I'm fascinated with maps, especially like 18th century, 17th century, 18th century maps.
Yes. Now I'm wondering why there hasn't been a meeting like this for so long.
I think they were saying in that particular location. So it makes you wonder, what is it, that it's not a favorable location, or exactly why? It'd be interesting for them to tell us that.
And I love that he's being included in the, cultural activity. I think that's so important. I love didgeridoos too. I love those.
The which ones?
Didgeridoos, it's the
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
I love it.
It's like a cool sound with that.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too because he did grow up there, and it is, when you sometimes, although he may not be Aboriginal, he's exposed to that culture. And I do think sometimes foreign cultures can become part of your own culture, and you adopt that. And it can be an important part of your life.
Mhm. Mm, mm.
And it also seems like it's more like the life he grew up with, where he said he grew up in a rural area. And
Mhm.
I guarantee you he wasn't sitting in front of a computer playing video games.
No. I wanna say it's almost like the same principle of I know living in the Northeast, if your parents were I guess if they'd gotten there recently, um, for, like, summer vacation, they would send you, or I should say ship you, down south to where your rural grandparents lived,
Yes, yeah.
and it was a totally different, different experience, but you kind of needed that like, that brain reset to see, where you don't have a whole lot of distractions going on and kind of like the older ways of the way, things were done. I felt like I was thrown out and with no civilization, but, but it truly was something that was a good, good experience, learning how to, navigate your way around, learning how to, like, catch, your own food, preserving your own food, learning, traditions, learning customs, learning history of your family. It's something I'm very thankful for, and it's something I can see we kind of did here a little bit, with the in this episode, so very cool stuff.
I agree. I think that, if anything, in addition to the outdoor activity and the physical benefits, there's definitely a cultural and a spiritual benefit to this. And preserving, your own history and what's important to you, and being around people that you care about. This
Mhm.
is so profound in so many ways, Lorena, and I'm just loving this. And now we're on to the last episode, uh, which
Yes.
is episode 6, called Acceptance. Um,
Hmm.
I just can't wait to see, the final message here. It's been a journey, hasn't
Mhm. Mhm.
it? It's
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been such a journey, and I think, starting off the new year with these, certainly bits and very helpful bits of advice,
Mhm.
certainly is going to make the new year even better. And I know that he's in his 30s. I am unfortunately not in my 30s anymore, but let's just say that I understand a lot of these tools can be applied to any age. So this is
Mhm.
something that we're seeing, across the board, definitely beneficial and definitely something to think about as we approach this new year, going
Mhm.
forward. So let's see what this acceptance, episode, is about, Lorena. I'm going to press new episode now. Next
Okay.
episode 6, the final episode for Limitless.
Okay. It's telling me waiting for host, so I guess I just hang out.
Oh, it didn't start yet?
No, it didn't for me.
Okay, let me just see if I can restart this. It may be because I paused it, or I didn't press the button. How about now?
Not yet.
Okay, let me go back, and I'm going to restart that one more time.
Okay. I was about to hit the hit the refresh button. Let's see if that fixes it. Fixes a lot.
How about now?
Um, no, it's not going for me. Let me reload and see if
Okay.
it does that. There we go.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, it's got me on episode 5. No, not
No,
episode
no,
5.
we don't want that. Maybe I need to send you another link, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, let me do that. Let me get out of this.
Okay.
And what I will do, it says it's in progress. How do I stop it?
Okay, now it's running. Now I see it. Acceptance.
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
wonderful.
I have no idea how that happened.
I don't either. Let's see. I'm at 1 minute. Are you at 1 minute, Lorena?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh.
Okay. I got Crocs. Interesting.
50 years. Well, that's when he's
Mhm.
80.
Hmm.
Oh.
Interesting how they say losing your hearing, because for those of us who've grown up with in-ear headphones and all of that, we already pretty much knew we were going to be losing some of it. Oh wow, look at that. That's funny.
That's what he's supposed to look like?
So they're basically going to recreate Shady Pines retirement. Remember for the Golden Girls? Shady Pines, ma.
That's not what I thought he would look like as an older person.
Got like the receding hairline.
Interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know what to think about this because I don't want to be older. So I feel very resistant to this, Lorena. How about you?
There are people in the villages who would vehemently disagree with this. What?
What? No, I can't. I can't.
Is this seriously what y'all are gonna do?
This is a little shocking. A little shocking, a little jarring.
All right, let's see where y'all go with this.
Yeah. So he's got this suit that's aging him, that's made him like an
Hmm.
87-year-old man.
Hmm. So hearing loss, vision.
Mobility is restricted. Um, hmm. He's just my new best friend. He's an older gentleman.
Because the elderly, you are more sensitive to loud noises, environmental changes. Yeah, I want him to get out, and he's not even there yet. I thought he was going to get on a scooter, frankly. That would have been cool. Mhm. Mhm. Really.
Why do they always have to put the word sunset in front of these things? Like, why can't they make it sound like it's slowly setting?
You should have just used the villages.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we see them. I got one
What?
right over here, actually.
I'm just like, I'm going to visit. Been around to see my 95-year-old great aunt who
Aw.
thought God forgot about her because she was still alive. And we're bringing cake and balloons, and there's people who their families hadn't come to like visit them. We're just like, they
Aw.
just thought that it just seemed weird as like this whole group of people just come walking in with cake and presents and balloons and stuff. They're like, we
Aw.
don't get these many visitors like this, on occasion.
My my aunt was in a nurse a facility like this, and my mother and I went to visit her, and my aunt and my mother looked very much alike.
Hmm.
And my aunt had kind of gotten in trouble for trying to leave the facility on her own. And so as my mother and I were leaving, I
Hmm.
could hear them say, "Excuse me, miss, you can't leave. We told you you can't leave the." I said, "No, no, no. This is the sister." They said,
Hmm.
"Oh, we thought it was, so and so trying to leave again."
Hmm. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the vision.
The vision is definitely not just an 80-year-old situation, but middle age situation.
That's very true. And occupational. Because, like,
Mhm.
for people like me, it's kind of like with what happened with librarians. They would lose their ability to see far away very well because they're so used to having books in front of them. There's something called a computer prescription, which I have in order to be able to drive because we're so used to screens being in front of us with type this tiny, and we don't blink because occupational, we're just used to doing it. So now they have to come up with like blue screens, computer prescriptions for eyeglasses, which was never heard of, you know,
For me, the
before.
brightness really bothers me these days, and I have everything on dark mode.
Hmm.
It's all those hours of those bright lights in your eyes.
I know. It's like I love dark mode. It's like when people have these bright screens, super like, you need to turn it down. You turn it down. You turn it down. But that's like with a lot of developers. If we're reading, if we're looking at servers and everything, all of those screens are dark. And the only time we make them light is if we're doing a presentation for someone. But if we're working for long periods of time, all the screens are dark.
Yeah, and I even and I'm sure you do, you have one of these. I even travel with it's literally like a black sheet that you put on the screen, and it
Hmm.
reduces the glare, and I'm
Glare
like,
filter. Yeah.
"Yep, that's going on."
Is that him?
I don't know about that picture.
Hmm.
Even he doesn't like the picture.
I don't know. I got that receding hairline and wrinkles and No, what I know about some nursing homes, some of the things that go on.
Well,
Mm.
they do have to provide contraception at some of these
Uh,
nursing homes, and not
yeah,
pregnancy, but for
STDs.
yes.
Oh yeah.
So there is that.
Mhm. That, the illegal Viagra ring, bootleg DVD ring.
They have nothing to lose either.
No.
You already said, "Oh, come on, ladies, it's fresh meat." And all the ladies are like, "Who's there? Who is it?"
Oh, honey, how are you doing? Good to see you. Which means he's gonna
You
go
move
there.
wherever you want, Lorena. I think that says it all.
Mhm. Oh, wow, they have pictures. Him and his wife, aged both of them. Wow. So they aged the photo from the first Thor movie he did, the premiere for that. Thor ever.
Aw. That I wouldn't be surprised if he did do that.
Mhm.
And guys, we are at 12 minutes into episode 6. Chris has
Mhm.
just entered. Oh, they've got the hammer there.
Mhm.
The prescription bottle holder next to the
Which pill you have to take, which day. Mhm. Yes. Oh, okay. You gonna see Tachi?
Well, we knew that would be coming at some point.
Mhm. But you forgot the important thing, asking what's for dinner tonight.
Mhm. That is very true.
No line dancing. I was gonna say line dancing, no bar crawl. To notice his gait is different.
I think it would have been very interesting if they had actually aged his face too.
Mhm. It's like I can't move too fast. Oh my gosh. This brings back memories for me.
Remember back in the 80s. Yeah.
Mhm. You're my favorite student. Ever since I got this hip replacement, I'm really good now.
God bless him. We called him old man. Come on, old
Mhm.
man. The villages. I'm joking.
He'll be like, "Come on, you're falling behind. Come on."
Everybody in the village say
Like, "Hurry up, I got a date. I got
hey.
2 dates tonight." Mhm. You're like, "New guy's kinda slow."
Is he taking the stuff off?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't think he was allowed to do that.
At least he took the bungee stuff off. Oh, dang.
Oh, wow. He's a martial artist. He
Look
looks
at
like
that
he
hair.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Exactly.
Hachi. Mhm.
And we are at 19 minutes and 35 seconds into episode 6.
Mhm. It's so cool. Everyone literally stops to watch all of like the elderly people doing Tai Chi.
And I suspect that even watching it lowers your blood pressure.
It really does. it's very calming to watch because it's not a very, it's not like the training montages that you would see in martial arts classes. It's a very gradual, graceful, smooth transition from one movement phase to another. Mhm. Mhm. Let's see him go. Mhm. Mm.
Yeah, as you get older, you've got to make some changes, and
Mhm.
this is one of the many things that you have to accept, and it is hard to accept it. Although
Very.
although getting older is just something that's gonna happen, and you're almost forced to just accept it when someone asks you how old you are. You're like, "Oh, I didn't know you're that old." "Yeah." "How old is
Mhm.
that?" Yeah." That's it.
Mhm.
He called it a prison. But the villages, in defense of the villages, it doesn't look like a prison.
No, with the villages, you have it's like independent senior living. It's like people, they have their houses, they have everything else. It's not really an assisted living camp, so to speak. There are a couple other places that are, but the villages isn't known for being like a convalescent home. It seems to be more of a place where people pride themselves on being independent, which is probably why you see so many golf cart thefts
Yes,
and other crazy stuff, that's going on. But yeah, you're right. The villages is definitely not a prison. If anything, the villages seems to be the ideal of what most seniors want to do and want to be able to do.
agreed.
He said, "Douglas is my man." It's too funny.
Yeah, he
I don't blame him. How many elderly people do we know? They do not appreciate getting older, like these limits. Like, I used to be able to move like this and move like that. And knock stuff over, that's usually when I get called to help pick something up, you know? I don't blame him. Well, that's got to be hard. Is Chris going to do a stick figure? I love how all the senior citizens are clowning him. That is true because one of the things that I've noticed, especially with active older adults, is they tend to have a much bigger social circle and one that likes to check on each other when someone is missing, like when someone wouldn't be in, Zumba class, or like, what happened to so and so? Is she okay? I'll have to call her and all of that. And especially with some women who wind up losing their spouses because they wind up losing a lot of the mutual friends. So usually women who also like lost their spouses or they know someone who does, they kind of try to, kind of pull them in to the social circle a bit more.
I have seen that. I also think that they have a different sense of responsibility for others.
Mhm. I bet you the villages is in that book.
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
Is it swimmer, maybe?
Mhm. She got shocked.
Oh no.
Oh, Oh my god.
Oh my god.
To be
Oh,
so young and have that happen.
it's a different person.
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow.
Mhm. We are 31 minutes, guys.
Hmm. And I've seen so many people with those particular, prosthetics do just amazing, amazing things. Oh, is that his service dog? So pretty. Mhm.
Those injuries, I just it was life-changing.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Mhm. Mm,
Yeah, it's true. None of us are promised tomorrow.
absolutely. Mhm. Mm. Yeah, it's pretty deep, especially considering the diagnosis that he was given. Mhm.
He's going to have to say no to certain things.
Mhm.
How old is his wife? Do you know?
I think she's in her early 30s, I think.
Okay.
Mhm. Wow. You imagine that?
What a difference. Is she really going to look like that when she's 50? You think?
It's possible. But then again, we have so many, how would I put it? Outside of really, really good genes, there's so many things with respect to skincare and like environment. People who live in more humid climates don't age as quickly as those who live in like colder and drier climates. And between the Botox, Restylane, Retin-A, all of those things, I mean, it's like when our parents, when our mothers were growing up, there you could probably count on one hand a number of like beauty products and stuff, and it wasn't, high tech or anything like that. Now,
Mine's full cream.
yes, or my grandmother's favorite, oil of Olay. I swear she
Mhm.
used to buy
Yes.
that stuff by the case.
Mhm. Yeah, that was huge too.
A big, big deal, and they're by like all the time. Now you go into like Sephora and it's just like, holy crap, I can't keep track. How
Yeah.
much stuff does Clinique have? I'm like, I can't keep track of just like all the stuff. It's so different now.
Oh, literally.
Mhm,
Literally a chief.
mhm. Mm.
Oh no. Hmm.
I was trying to figure out where he was from. Was it Fiji? Was it New Guinea? 'Cause I met this guy from Fiji on the plane, and before he talked, I swore he was, like, from Compton or something like that, and it turns out he was from Fiji. He was hot too. Mhm, mhm.
Sometimes you need that time to figure out what the next step is.
That's very true. You need time to, I tell people, work through grief. Grief isn't something you get over, it's something you get through. Wow. Mhm,
Mhm. Mhm.
I agree. Mhm,
I agree 100%. But they also one other thing that, in addition to not getting the time to grieve, we're not prepared that there may be setbacks. And I'll talk about that at the end
mhm.
of the show.
Is it meatloaf night?
Mhm. It sure is. I can't wait to see what she looks like. This is how they think a 50-year-old woman will look, Lorena.
I'm curious.
Oh, she's aged 50 years.
Mhm.
So how old is she in her 30s as
So
well? Then she's
yeah, so she'd be, like, in her 80s.
okay.
Mhm.
See, that's what I thought they were gonna do with him. I thought they were gonna put
I
on
thought so too.
I think Chris would have been very different had he seen himself
Mhm.
in that way.
He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I have that suit off."
He doesn't know it's her. Guys, we're at 45 minutes and 45 seconds in
Mhm.
episode 6 of Limitless, the last episode of the series. Will he know it's her? This is the $64,000 question.
I bet you he will have no clue. I'm just guessing. So I'll be like, "Wow." Well, I was wrong.
The hands look incredible.
Mhm.
They did a good job. It looks like something from like Hollywood or something.
Mhm. They really did. Because they didn't do like just her face, just the all yeah, like you're saying, the detail on her hands. That just like totally sells it.
Aw.
Mhm.
I didn't expect it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I don't think he was prepared for that.
No, not at all. Now you know she's older than him.
Mhm.
I think she might be, let's see, 19. She was born in 1976 and he was born in 1983. So she's about 8 years older than him.
Wow.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, she's almost 50 years old. So if they aged her to 50 years forward, then she's like literally almost 100 here.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's almost 50, mom. I'm recording, okay? I love you.
All right.
Wow.
I think she looks incredible, honestly.
I think she looks great.
Mhm.
I think she looks perfect.
This feels very final, doesn't it?
Mhm. It really does. Mhm. Is this really necessary to do?
I feel like this might be a little extreme.
I would agree with you. I think it seems in a way unnecessary and triggering, but let's see what they do with it. Hmm.
Uh-oh.
So what is it like the Grim Reaper comes walking out? I mean, it already put like a not a fat suit, excuse me, aging suit on him.
He'd have to be tied down so he can't move, right? Completely restricted so he can't move because that's you can't they can't move, right?
Yeah,
In the
they
last
can't
moments
really
of
go
life.
anywhere. He's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Hmm. Wow.
His would have to be special order. He's a big man.
Mm-hmm.
It is very morbid, but when my father passed, we had to get a larger coffin. He was huge. He had really broad shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and he could not fit in a normal size coffin. That's so macabre, isn't it? Sorry.
It
But we're
really
looking at coffins, so you can't just get buried in anything in every state, right, Lorena? You have to follow the rules according to the state that you're in, I think,
Mhm.
right?
There's certain regulations that you have to have. You can't just like say, "Hey, bury me in tinfoil" or something like that. No.
Oh, he fit in. That must be a larger one because he looks really broad.
Mm-hmm. Because if somebody, if you're not that happens with some people too. They would rather be cremated. Hmm.
This was the what I was referring to, the in regards to being prepared for different things that happen in life, and we're not, they don't really prepare us. There's not a lot that prepares us for a lot of the situations that you have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He's gonna do what?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe they'll hold him down or something, and he can't move. Like, how do you restrict him?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Oh dear.
I can't even with someone this long.
How horrible.
Heck no. You have like your whole life ahead of you, and you have this happen. Hmm. Oh.
I'm so glad she found somebody.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh no.
Oh. Wow. Mm. That's interesting perspective. Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
And we're at 1 hour and 3 minutes and 15 seconds, everybody. It's the end of the program and the
Is this
series.
okay? I was about to say this is the longest episode they've had,
Yeah, this one
right?
was definitely longer than 40
Oh,
minutes. I thought it was, I guess it's about an hour and 10 minutes. And what? What is he gonna find on the other side?
you're gonna see him like his death date.
It's Ebenezer Scrooge kind of thing?
That's what I'm thinking. Remember, as soon as he got there, he told him that door was off limits. It's like, okay, why is that? That seems to make zero sense. Okay, this is a little freaky.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm. He looks so goofy. I love it. Oh, it's one of the kids hanging on to him while he's surfing. That's so cool. I think this is the first shot where we've seen. Well, no, it's actually the second shot that we've seen him, where you can see his prosthetic. But it's interesting that when we first meet him, we don't. There's nothing in the shot to indicate how different he is. Hmm. Mhm. Mm. It was trippy, let's say exactly what it was. That's funny. Oh, I love that she calls him that.
Mhm.
Well, very interesting episode.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what I expected was gonna happen, but it does remind me of this commercial that I used to see for, life insurance. I believe it was for life insurance and
Mhm,
retirement, and what this there was a professor who studied retirement, and he would say, "How much money do you think you're gonna need in retirement?" You know, and he would choose, young people, and they would always get the number wrong.
mhm,
But there was one experiment where he had in the commercial where he asked everybody, "I want you to put a gold sticker on this chart for every time and during your life you think something great's going to happen." So people put something on there and they put a sticker on for where it said, birth of a child, a job,
mhm,
graduation, all these sort of great things. And then
mhm,
he said, I want you to put a red sticker on for every time you think something bad might happen in your life. And people had difficulty putting on the stickers,
mhm,
and so he talked about this, and he said that overall people aren't prepared to talk about when they may pass away, or when their spouse might pass away, or when your parents might pass away, or anything that could be a setback in life. We're not we're not necessarily prepared or taught to deal with those losses. And so he said the average person has 10 life-changing events in their life that would be considered setbacks. and that you have to plan for that. And I think that this particular episode about acceptance certainly does address that in a very unique way. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it is something to think about because it is part of your life as
Mm-hmm.
well. So I was very impressed with this series. It certainly was very different from what I thought it was going to be like. I mean, they did a great job in advertising it, but
Mm-hmm.
um, it really was. It's life changing, Lorena. What did you think of the series overall?
I thought the series was very good. I would say some parts of it were definitely life changing. Like there's some parts where it's like, okay, I can kind of apply that to my life, and some parts was like, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm not walking across a catwalk, my skyscraper. I'm not, I'm not doing that. But there's so much within this whole series to look at, and I really appreciate the fact that they took as long as they did to talk about the concept of grief, and that it's something that you need to work through, and it's a period that you need in order to reflect and come back as being better, because of it. It kind of feels like he said Western society. I mean, I'll just say like in American society, it seems like grief is something that people try to rush you through, and it's not necessarily healthy. And I really think that if we would give people, or we'll say encourage people to have the space to grieve in the way that they need to, and understand, kind of like you were saying, that it's not a straight line. It's very, very cyclical. I think we would be much better off for that. So I really do like that they spent that much time talking about that particular subject.
Yeah, I agree. And, from start to finish, I think that this program that Chris has made really has been eye opening and been such a benefit, really, to understand,
Hmm.
where we're going and especially as we are getting older, which I don't like to admit is happening.
Yeah, age comes for us all.
It really does. So I really give this series a 10 out of 10. I think that there's so much benefit from it. And we don't
Hmm.
necessarily see as many shows anymore talking about health and wellness. Things have been
Hmm.
so, you know, tangented away from the main focus of health, um, that we aren't seeing anything as pure as this without any sort of agenda. There isn't any agenda in any of this. This is just Chris sharing his personal information and
Hmm.
fantastic experts and people from around the world, their experiences, which just enriches it so much more. It definitely feels like a National Geographic um, style
Hmm.
program. And yeah, for those of you who are watching this, I want to thank you all for watching because,
Yes.
yeah, Lorraine and I, we both enjoyed this series immensely. And we hope, if you guys watch this, it does have a profoundly positive effect on your life. I'm definitely going to follow some of the information that's in this series. But Lorraine, thank you so much for joining me in watching this program with Chris Hemsworth. And one other thing I did want to mention was that, and I think we might have said this before. I hope I'm doing this correctly. We might have mentioned this before about Chris Hemsworth. Um, and about his intention to kind of change things in his life.
Hmm.
And I think that that's very interesting too, because he didn't have to share this information with us, but
Right.
he's deciding that he's going to make some changes in his life. And I think that, he does work, insanely difficult hours, being an actor, and some of the roles that he plays really kind of takes up a lot of personal time. And it's interesting because he is almost hinting that he's going to do a little career change after learning about this Alzheimer's situation. And he said he's opted to make changes to his acting career. He
Hmm.
discovered this increased risk of Alzheimer's, which we saw in one of the episodes. Um, and he said that he feels like he has to go ahead and make these changes. He talks about about family members here battling his
Mhm.
grandfather, battling the disease, and there's some days where he's joyful. And we saw this in the episode.
Mhm.
But it is very interesting to see this happen. And I also think that the point or the idea of talking about oh, let me stop that. Sorry. The idea of artists and creators really
Mhm.
not having a lot of family time um, is kind of relevant because this is one of the sacrifices they make as entertainers, as
Mhm.
see these movies that they're making. That's an entire year of their life where they may have been away from their children and their family. So, being the lead like he is in many of these films, he's the one who may be spending the most time away as the lead in a series like this. So I think that's also pretty relevant. But I think that it's great that he's making changes. And the changes are, it is true that he's prolonging his life. Let's say it's going to, we know that if you work out, it prolongs your life, it makes you healthier, but it's also for happiness, Lorena. He wants to have the happiest life that he can have. And I think that the
Mhm.
focus on happiness is also really important as well. What do you think, Lorena?
I really do. I really do. It's important to have that family time and to have those social ties. Kind of like you were saying, with these actors, their time is just like so involved with the projects that they're doing. It seems to be a challenge to keep their family life together. And we've kind of heard like several actors talk about this, how tough it is, being away from your family for months at a time, on a shoot. So I really hope, and it seems like to me in this, that Chris is more focused on spending more time with his family. And I've kind of gotten that impression by some of the remarks that he's made in the press. Of late, he seems more into preferring to do roles that he feels is going to be a payoff, like his time in acting is worth it, as opposed to saying time on certain projects or certain movies or with certain directors that it's not really going to be worth his time to do. So I really do hope that he continues making those judicious decisions, because at the end of the day, it's not really about who your fans are. It's about your family that's there to support you. So, oh, you got muted by accident.
Yes,
There we
thank
go.
you, Rania. I agree
No worries.
100%. And it certainly is a great way to start off the new year. So, for those of you
Mhm.
watching, you will be watching this in the new year. Rania and I thought this would be perfect for your new year start off. And I encourage anybody who out there watch it and just really enjoy this series. There's a lot of good information, and it is a feel good series as well as you kind of travel the world, National Geographic style in this show that really allows you to think about your wellness journey as we get older and beyond. So, Lorena, thank you again for joining me here to do this. And Lorena, where can people find you?
Well, folks, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, and of course, you can find me on YouTube doing various videos and live streams, both by myself and with Rrr as well. And of course, you can find me over on the Burnett Network on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern with Rrr for our Ladies of the PGS show.
Absolutely, Lorena. And of course, you can find me here on YouTube as well on my channel, Positive Fandom. Please like and subscribe. Also, like and subscribe to Lorena's channel on YouTube as well, guys. You can find both of us on the Burnett Network for Ladies of the PGS on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can also find me on Lorena's channel as well. Also, the 1/6 Scale Man Network. Also, the 1/6 Scale Man Network. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
And it's my mother in the other room. But I did just want to say for everybody watching this, I hope you all are well. Hope you had a great holiday season. And for all of you out there, just please remember it's a new year to please be kind to everybody and stay safe. Bye.